I'm supposed to skate with Jack tonight, but I think I'm gonna bail on him. What up? This is a review of the purple Kevos. Purple Kevin 72mm. They're soft slide formula, which is different from the green ones. The green ones are soft slide pro. So that means these are fucking slippery, dude. They're pretty much just big snakes. I don't really ride snakes that often because I think they're too slippery. The green 72s are my all-time favorite wheel, so I thought maybe these would be like a pretty dope in between. And like they kind of are a pretty dope in between. They're very slippery. They're like quite greasy. They're super over top of the pavement. You get very little road feedback when you're sliding. And the initiation is quite minimal also. Not as minimal as snakes, obviously, but you don't have quite as much of a defined edge grip. Once you start sliding, you can just kind of lock them in, and they feel really good. You can do big stuff on them. They're very confidence-inspiring, because you can just huck dumpers with them. You can do really big slides for very low consequence, very low risk of washing out, and very low risk of high siding, which is pretty dank. The break-in kind of sucked on them. I hated breaking these in. It was pretty quick, but it was longer than the green ones took, and way chatterier than the green ones when they were breaking in. But it was pretty quick. It took like 20 minutes. I'm not going to go over any of the specs of this wheel, because I've done it before in other videos. All I want to talk about is how they slide differently. Yeah, they slide easier, they slide further, they're pretty epic. If you slid off the road on the greens though, you'll slide off the fucking cliff on these. Like, these slide a lot more. If you do hands down slides, your weight has to be much more on top of them as opposed to the greens, just because they slide way more. Yeah, I think these are going to be dope in the spring and the fall when it's a little cooler, and then ride the green for like May, June, July, and August. These fill a niche of when you don't want to ride snakes because they're too slippery, and you don't want to ride greens because they're too grippy, and you don't want to ride Byrons because Byrons are the worst ones. Me thinking Byrons are bad is it's a whole own video. If you're not going fast enough and you don't distribute your weight properly, they're a little honky, but I think they're going to get less honky as I keep wearing them in, because this is only my second session on them. They're honky, but they're not bouncy chattery. But once you're going fast, they're totally silent and smooth and easy. They're super smooth wheels, actually. They are super smooth wheels. Once you're sliding, you don't notice anything under the ground. You're just gliding. It's easy. These are one of the only wheels that I've recently skated where I felt like I initiated and literally locked into a position on toe sides, and then you hook up. It feels pretty dank. Okay, I think that's all I wanted to say. On these, I don't know, like there's nothing wrong with them, but I don't think they're as good as the greens. But I gave the greens a 7, and I should have given the greens an 8. So these are pretty dank out of 8. I guess that's kind of just an 8, but I don't know, I need to revise the whole rating system. This is fucked. The graphics are way better on these. You can actually like squish the wheel and the graphic don't even budge. So all you guys in all those Instagram comments, you really did something. maybe you should go sign a change.org petition next. Make some real changes out there. Peace.